Hi all, welcome to Sidza.com. Here in this video we will learn about the thermodynamic process. What is a process? A process is any operation, any method that can change the state of a system, right? So anything that can change the state of a system, that is called as a process. We know that we have learned in our previous video how we define, how we express the state of a system, right? We have learned that state of a system we express in terms of certain variables called as state variables like temperature, pressure, volume, or the number of moles, right? For example, if you have we have a system in the state 1 and that state changed to the second state, right? There's a change in the state of a system. It's done by a process. So whenever there is a change in the state, we say the process has been done. And if there is no change in state, no process is done. So anything that can change the state of a system, anything that can change any of those variables, right? Obviously, by changing any of that, those variables or all of these variables, that will change the state, correct? So that means anything that can change these state variables, that is a process. For example, we got a piston here, right? A gaseous, system here, and if this piston is moving up and down, the volume and the pressure changes. So therefore, its state will change. Okay, so that's the process. When the system is moving up and down, when this piston is going up or it's going down, difference in the pressure. Okay, so therefore the process is done. If you take, suppose here, a beaker and it contains some water. If you heat it, so there's a change in temperature, right? So it's a process. Or for example, you take the beaker and add some more water in it. Simple addition of the water in a beaker, that's a process, right? You got a balloon, right? And if you if you shrink it a little bit, right? If you put a finger so that the balloon, its volume changed there's a deformation in the shape, that's also a process. So anything that can change those state variables, that is what we call as a process. Now, what are the different types of processes? Normally, we have 4 different types of processes. One is isobaric process, isochoric process, isothermal, and the adiabatic process. A process in which there is no change in the pressure, when the pressure of the system remains constant. Okay, that's what we call as a isobaric. Iso, the same, and the baric, it refers to the pressure. A process in which there is no change in the pressure, that is an isobaric process, because we know the pressure, volume, temperature, these are the things, in terms of which we express the state of a system. So that means when we carry out a process and in that particular process there is no change in the pressure, there may be the change in the volume, change in the temperature, but not the change in the pressure, correct? The pressure, if the pressure means a constant, then the process is called as an isobaric process. And isochoric is a process in which the volume of a system remains constant, right? So there can be the change in the temperature, there can be the change in the pressure also here in the isochoric, but the point is, if there is no change in the volume of a system remains constant, fixed, and then it's called as a isochoric process. And isothermal, thermal refers to the temperature, the heat. Okay, so that means a process in which temperature remains constant, that is what we call as a isothermal process. And adiabatic process, in the adiabatic process, nothing remains constant, right? Okay, nothing here is constant. And how we carry out the adiabatic process? If you have a system and if there's an adiabatic wall, a wall around the system that does not allow the energy to exchange with the system, between the system and the surroundings. You got a wall around the system, okay, and there is no change in the energy there is no change in the heat, right, between the system and the surroundings. No change in the heat through the walls, right? That's what we call as the adiabatic wall. Okay, and here in the in this adiabatic process, since there is no change in, you can see the delta Q change in the heat, that is zero there. So these are the 4 different types of processes. Hope you got the concept. Thanks for watching the video. Bye for now.